Right. Hey guys. Welcome to the Procrastinators Math Rescue Part 3. Sorry for my diligent fan that didn't do one yesterday, but I've jam packed this one. Hopefully, we're going to tick off around about 6 little chapter points today. Um, Today, I've taken the questions from Caringbah High School. It's from the 2022 paper. So, again, if you want to find all the questions, they're there for you. Right, so we're going to dive straight in for this one, but let's see how we go. All right, so radial survey. If you don't know what radial survey is you stand in the middle, you draw points out to random spots on an irregular field, like this might be someone's farm. You take a bearing. So remember, when we talk about bearings, we're talking about going always from north and always in that clockwise direction. And notice that we have those at the end of these arcs. We've got our true bearings. Even if it's two numbers, it's always written as 3. So if I had the bearing of 1 degree, it's 0, 0, 1. Or, 55 degrees is 0, 5, 5. So you always got to see that 3 numbers regardless. Okay, so we've got a radial survey taken on a plot of land. B and C are equal distance in kilometres from O. So B and C, hey, these two. Okay. Point B is on a bearing of 315. Point C is 253. I don't know what I didn't do the other way around, but oh well. The area of BOC is 148. What is the distance OB correct to one decimal place? Whoa, a lot going on here, and I've put this one down as a area question, but it could come under a couple of categories because there's a lot going on here. Place where to start is I'm going to start with the area formula. Why? Area formula, to find OB, I need these two side lengths. And once I got the side lengths, I can use that to use other rules to find what I need. Okay, so what we're going to say is we use the area of a non-right angle triangle formula. Okay, and it's on your formula sheet, so find it. So it's area is equal to half times A times B times sine of C. Now that's just saying, hey, find these sides and then use the angle. How do I find the angle? Good question. We're just going to say 315 minus our 253. And that should give us an angle of what's that? 47 and 15, 57 and 62. Okay, so we got one mark, 62 degrees. I really should have given myself a lot more room than this, but we'll move on. Okay, so what we're going to do, can I move it down? Or did I fix it? I think I fixed it on the page. Well done, me. I've run out of room already. That's okay. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to say 148. Was it 148? Yeah, 148. 148 is equal to half times R times R times sine of 62. Now we've got to get R on its own. How do we do that? So what we're going to do is get rid of this 2 from the half. So we're going to say times the 148 by 2. So I'm just going to double it. So what's that? 296. Yep, 296. Okay, is equal to. Now what's R times R? R times R is R squared. And times sine 62. I'm going to leave that there just for a second. Sine 62. Now sine 62 is just a number, right? So if I had 3x is equal to 15, you'd know divide by 3 on both sides works. Same idea. We're going to divide both sides by sine of 62. Sine of 62. Okay. We'll use our calculator. We'll say 296 divided by sine of 62. Where is sine? Sine of 62. 335. Okay, but we're going to say I'll round it, but I'm going to leave my answer there. 335 is equal to r squared. Now I want to get r on its own. How do I get r on its own? And I'll just draw a line there just to help. You got to take the square root of both sides, and hence why I left my answer. So r is equal to the square root of that. Now this is a tough question actually. So we're going to say the square root of the answer is equal to 18.3. Did it ask for the nearest to one decimal place? Okay, so we're going to call it 18.3. Cool. All right, so while we're still having actually answered the question, because we've got to find the distance from O to B, and how we're going to do that? Well, we can use, what can we use? We can use, oh no, that is the answer. 18. Duh. Sorry about that. Had a mind blank for some reason. Okay, 18.3, we just found O to B is that one. Duh. I thought I'd do something else. But there you go. That's a tough question for 3 marks. A lot to do there. You would have probably got 1 for getting the angle. You probably would have got something for realizing to put it in terms of this substitution, and that final mark happens to be there. Woof, good one. All right, so 3 unbiased 6-sided dice are rolled simultaneously 1,080 times. How many times would you expect that all 3 dice show a 4? Okay, so what expected value means? Expected value is talking about probability times the number of events. Okay, so what we need to do is figure out what's the probability of throwing a 4. And you think about a dice. What's the probability of throwing 1 4? I'm here saying 1 over 6. And then, because I've got to throw another one, I'm going to use that word and in probability means times. I've got to throw a 1 over, I've got to throw a 4, and then I've got to throw another 4, and then I've got to throw another 4. Because I said and, I've got to throw 1 4 and another 4 and another 4. That's where the and comes into it. So it's 1 over 6 times 1 over 6 times 1 over 6 multiplied by the number of events. In this case is 1,080. So this shouldn't be a very big number, I think. So you can say 1 over 6, and I'll just do it. It was 1 over 6. Keyboard shortcut didn't work. Times 1 over 6. Really should have just used the Q button. Times 1080. It's equal to 5. Hey. Okay. And I'd be happy with an answer of 5. Hey, why? Because this probability, if you had done that in your calculator, like that's 1 in like 36 times 6. So like 240, probably a little bit less. But, and you're doing it 1,080 times. So it kind of makes sense, that answer. So that's a pretty good answer. All right. Oh, I thought I'd throw a bearing one in there, and I don't know if I'm going to finish it, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so 2 hikers decided to leave multiple campsite C. So as soon as you see a question like this, you start popping things in. That's our campsite. To visit some natural landmarks in the area. One hiker walks 16 k's on a very 65 degrees. Again, so that 65 degrees is going to be going from north around. And so we're going to call this to see a lake, which is L. And do pop those things in as they come up. It just makes life a little bit easier. And when you're trying to figure out, hey, what am I actually trying to do? That's 16 k's, and that's 65 degrees in there. And the other hiker walks 26 k's. 26 k's. on a bearing of 285 to reach a mountaintop. Okay, so for me, complete the diagram of the scenario. So 285, you could either put, this is 270, so you could put 15 degrees in here, but that's not really going to help because you can see they're forming some sort of triangle. So for me, I'm going to put it down as 75 in here. Where do I get 75 from is 360 minus 285 to get that angle in here. And I'm going backwards, but I can see that they're going to say, hey, draw this sort of triangle thing in a second. So have I done complete the diagram on the scenario, include lengths and bearings, okay, above the question. So I have included the bearings, so I will. So for me, I would put that as M, and I'd put 285 out there, and I'd also put 065 there as well to make sure I've completed it. That should be 1 mark. Calculate distance between the lake and the mountain. So we're trying to find this one here. And we're going to use cos rule. Why am I going to use cos rule? Because I have 2 sides in terms of these 2 sides. And I have the included angle, which is a nice cos. And so the cos rule I'm going to use is a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos of a. Okay, so the a's and the b's. So we're trying to find this one, and it's opposite this angle. So when you're trying to look for that, that's the relationship we're looking for. The angle, this a, is opposite this side. And to find it, you need to do the square root. So I'm going to do this all in one hit, just because I'm looking at my time. And I'm going to say, and my b and c don't really matter because it's all plussing in times in together anyway. So we're going to say 16 squared plus 26 squared minus 2 times 16 times 26 times cos of, now my cos A in this case is going to be this bit up here. That's my angle that I'm going to use. So 65 and 75. So 80 and 60 is 140. And looking at my time, I'm going to say to the nearest kilometre. I'm going to cheat this one because I put the answers in anyway. Let's go down to the answers. The answer is going to be 40 kilometres. So be comfortable with that for yourself. I would have done that, but I'm just running out of time for this one particular video. And I just forgot what it actually said. 40. That's right. 40 kilometres. All right. So that is part 1. Still got a few things to do. So I'll see you in the next one.